After the family reunion, I checked my bank account. It was empty. My brother-in-law scoffed. We needed it more than you. My hands trembled as I reached for my bag. Then you won't mind what happens next. They laughed right as a loud bang shook the house. The front door slammed open. You really mad about this? Seth leaned against the fridge, beer in hand, his smug half-grin fixed in place. Relax, we needed it more than you. I blinked, thumb hovering over the refresh button on my banking app. I'd already hit it 3 times, still the same number, $487. That couldn't be right. Just yesterday, it was over $14,000. 14,000, you what? My voice cracked. Sarah, curled up on the couch with a glass of wine, didn't even flinch. Oh, don't be so dramatic, she said. It's not like we stole it. We're family. You drained my account. It's not draining if we're gonna pay it back, Seth shrugged. Eventually. I turned to Mom, sitting across the room, knitting like nothing had happened. Mom, did you know? She sighed, annoyed. Sweetheart, you're always so sensitive. You've got a good job, no kids, no mortgage, you're fine. So that makes it okay to steal from me? Watch your tone, Mason, Dad muttered, eyes glued to his phone. I turned back to Sarah. How did you even get access? You left your info on the family computer, she said, unbothered. Next time, don't log in and walk away. Honestly, it's kind of your fault. My breath hitched, my fists clenched. You're overreacting, Seth said. We used it for rent, groceries, you know, to survive. You didn't ask. Sarah snapped. We didn't think we had to. You've been footing bills for years. What's the difference if it comes through you or from you? I picked up my bag slowly. No one apologized. No one even looked guilty. You're leaving already? Mom asked. Yep, I zipped up my coat. But don't worry, you'll hear from me. Don't be like that. Sarah rolled her eyes. We needed it more than you. That's just facts. I paused at the door. Then you won't mind what's coming next. They laughed behind me. But outside, something had already shifted. You always helped, Sarah had said. That's what you're for, right? You okay? Jen, my cousin, caught up to me as I stormed to my car. No, I yanked the door open. I heard what Sarah said. It wasn't right. I didn't reply. If I spoke, I'd scream. This wasn't the first time. For years, I'd been the responsible one. The one with a stable job, no dependents, no help needed. So naturally, I became the family wallet. It started small. Sarah missed a phone bill, I paid it. Seth lost his job, I loaned him enough for the month. Then came birthdays, holidays, things they just assumed I'd cover. Every time, they made me feel like I owed it to them. You're lucky, Mason, Mom would say. You don't have Sarah's struggles. God gave you ease so you could share it. Dad chimed in, too. Family supports each other. You wouldn't be here if it weren't for us. Translation, we gave you life, now give us your paycheck. I never asked for anything. Not when I was laid off for 6 months. Not when I skipped vacations to rebuild savings. Not even when I helped clear Sarah and Seth's credit card debt. They never paid me back. They never said thank you. Still coming to the reunion? Sarah asked last week. Yeah, I replied. Should I bring something? Her answer was quick. Just bring yourself, and your card. I thought it was a joke. Now I know better. 2 days later, Sarah called. I ignored it, and the next 3. Then Seth texted, just call her, man, she's freaking out. I finally picked up. Mason, her voice was shaky, we've got a problem. Do you? The power company came. We're behind, like, really behind. They're gonna shut it off if we don't pay by Monday. Silence. So we need your help. I laughed, short, bitter. You drained my savings, and now you want more? It wasn't just for us, she snapped. We helped Mom and Dad too. Dad's car broke down last month, remember? I wasn't told, because you only ask when it's an emergency. She went quiet. Sarah, I said, this isn't just selfish, it's criminal. You're being dramatic. We're family, you've always helped. That's what you're for, right? There it was again. That's what you're for. That night, I didn't sleep. I lay in the dark, reliving the last 5 years, the casual theft, the guilt trips, the way you're the strong one became a leash. They never saw me as a brother, or a son, just a resource. 3 days later, Mom called. We need to talk. She didn't ask how I was. Didn't ask about work. Didn't ask about the missing money. We're planning a family dinner, just us, come over tonight. My stomach dropped. What's this really about? Mason, she said softly, you've caused a lot of tension. I caused tension. Still, I went. Part of me wanted answers. The rest just wanted to see if they'd pretend to be sorry. They didn't. When I walked in, Sarah was already there, arms crossed. Seth looked bored. Mom busied herself in the kitchen. Dad flipped through mail like nothing had happened. So, Sarah said as I sat down, are we gonna act like adults or what? That depends, I replied. Are you ready to confess to felony theft? She rolled her eyes. God, you're so extra. It wasn't theft. It was family money. You've always helped, we needed it. Seth nodded. You've got the cash, so what's the problem? I didn't give you permission. You didn't say no either. I didn't know. Details, Sarah muttered. I turned to Mom. And you're okay with this? She looked away. We all agreed. You've always had the means. No one thought to ask. Dad added. We trusted you to do what's right. I stood. And what's right, letting you steal from me while smiling to my face? Stop saying steal, Sarah shouted. It was for the family. Then you won't mind when the family deals with the consequences. Seth squinted. What does that mean? I didn't answer. Not yet. The second time I came back, the whole family was there. Mom clattered plates in the kitchen, louder than necessary. Dad surfed TV channels. Sarah stood by the window, jaw tight. Seth lounged at the table like he was gearing up to watch a game, not face what was coming. Well, look who showed up, Sarah muttered. I dropped my bag by the door. Let's get this over with. Good, Seth smirked. Maybe we can stop pretending you were robbed. I was robbed, I said as I sat down. That was the cue. Mom cleared her throat. Mason, we know you're upset, but we were struggling. We had no other options, Sarah and Seth. Dad cut in. You've always been stable. We knew we could count on you. You didn't ask, I said, voice cold. You took. That's not family, that's theft. Sarah scoffed. We didn't blow it on junk, we used it for what mattered. No. I reached into my bag and slapped a printed spreadsheet on the table. $72 on makeup. $900 on takeout. $2,300 on your car loan, Seth. You didn't think I'd check? Seth leaned forward, face dark. You went through our accounts? Oh, I did more than that. I opened my laptop. The screen glowed a detailed, color-coded map of every charge and every transfer. I tracked everything. I filed a fraud report. And guess what? They got back to me. Sarah's face drained. You didn't. I did. You called the police? She shrieked. I looked at Mom. Still think this is just family business? This is insane, Dad snapped. You want to throw your sister in jail? You threw yourselves. Then. 3 heavy knocks. Sarah went pale. Seth jumped to his feet. Mom gasped. Dad froze. Open up, a voice called. Financial Crimes Unit. Knock, knock, knock. Seth turned to me, low and desperate. Mason, tell me you're not serious. I opened the door. 3 agents stepped in, jackets marked in bold letters. One held a clipboard, another a tablet, the third scanned the room. You Mason Carver? Yes. Thanks for your cooperation, we'll take it from here. Mom's hand flew to her mouth. Sarah dropped into a chair. Seth stood frozen. The lead agent turned toward them. You are listed as parties of interest in an ongoing case of financial fraud and identity theft. Identity theft? Mom cried. He's our son. The agent's tone didn't change. Family ties don't make crimes legal, ma'am. We didn't steal anything, Sarah wailed. He always helped, he always. Feeling entitled to someone's money doesn't make it yours, the second agent replied calmly. Remain seated. And for the first time ever, they listened. No backtalk, no blame shifting. No one tried to shout over me. Mom turned to me, voice trembling. Mason, please, we were desperate. You've always been the strong one. We didn't mean to hurt you, we just didn't know where else to turn. I met her eyes. You don't get to cry now. She broke. Sarah tried to speak, but no sound came. Seth looked ready to run, but didn't move. You want to talk about family? I said quietly. It's trust, it's respect. It's asking, not assuming. Not stealing. Not laughing while you drain someone dry. No one spoke. I grabbed my bag and turned to the agent. I'll be outside. And this time, no one stopped me. I walked out into the night. No yelling. No guilt trip. No how could you, shrieked from the porch. Just silence. And the sound of tires on gravel as the agents escorted them out one by one. I didn't stay to watch. I drove, nowhere in particular. Past gas stations and shuttered diners. My phone buzzed constantly from the passenger seat. I didn't answer. By midnight, I ended up outside the one place that ever felt safe, my grandmother's old house. She passed years ago, but I still had the key. She used to say, if they ever turn on you, Mason, come here, the door will always open. And that night, it did. I slept 11 hours straight. No noise. No tension. No guilt. Just peace. In the morning, I made coffee in her chipped mug and watched the sun rise behind the old garden fence. And for the first time in years, I could breathe. That peace didn't last. The first email came that afternoon, from Dad. This has gone too far. You've humiliated the entire family. What happened to loyalty? I didn't respond. Then Sarah texted, I hope you're happy. They froze my accounts. Seth's under investigation at work. You ruined our lives over a couple of payments. A couple? Try 5 years of silent sacrifice. Tens of thousands of dollars. Vacations skipped, bills covered, nights spent eating rice and eggs so they could survive. Then came Mom. A voicemail. Her voice soft, breaking. You didn't have to do it like this. We could have handled it privately. Mason, sweetheart, please, they're talking about charges. We might lose the house. We might lose the house. And suddenly, I didn't feel angry anymore. Or vengeful. Just done. I didn't care anymore. Because I'd already lost a home, not the walls or the roof, but the feeling of being safe inside one. That disappeared years ago. The moment they decided I was worth more as a bank account than as a son. 2 days later, I got a message from someone I didn't expect, Seth's brother. We'd barely ever spoken, maybe 5 words at birthdays. His text was blunt. Just so you know, Sarah's trying to shift the blame, telling people you knew about the transfers, says you approved them, lawyers involved, watch your back. I almost laughed. Even with everything crumbling, she was still spinning lies, still trying to rewrite the narrative. That night, I called my lawyer. Send everything, I said. We're not just pressing charges, I want a restraining order too. But not every message was hostile. A week later, I got an email from Kelly, Seth's sister. We hadn't spoken in years. I just wanted to say you were right. Right about how they treat you. Right about how toxic it is. I used to think you were cold. Now I think you were brave. I read that line again. Brave. No one in my family had ever used that word for me. A few days later, my phone rang, unknown number. I almost declined, but something made me answer. Mason. It was Sarah. Her voice was small, raw. I know I messed up, she said. I went too far. Seth's suspended. Mom's crying all the time. Dad won't even talk to me. And you. She hesitated. You always had the power to ruin everything, and you finally did. I didn't speak right away. Then, calmly, I said, I didn't ruin anything. I just stopped letting you walk over me. Silence. Then, can you stop it now, please? Drop the charges. I'll do anything, just make it stop. I almost felt something. Almost. But then I remembered her voice that night. We needed it more than you. I smiled bitterly. No, I said. You made this mess, now live in it. And I hung up. That night, I made myself dinner, played the album I loved in college, sat on the porch with a hot mug and nothing hanging over me. And for the first time since I was a teenager, no one asked for money. No guilt trips. No long, whiny texts that started with, "Since you're the only one doing well." Just silence. Beautiful, sacred silence. 3 months passed. 3 months since I blew everything up. Since agents walked through their door and reality crashed in. Since they finally had to face consequences instead of just expectations. They say you can't choose your family. Maybe that's true. But you can choose how much of yourself you're willing to lose trying to keep them happy. And I was done losing. The fallout came fast. Sarah and Seth lawyered up, sent mine an email offering to privately resolve the situation. No apology. No ownership. Just fear. I told my lawyer, let it burn. A week later, Mom sent a 10-page letter. Her handwriting still perfect, but parts of it shook. She wrote about how things got out of hand. How they never meant to hurt me. How she hoped I could see the bigger picture. Then came the line that said it all. "We just assumed you'd always be there. That's what good sons do. Not we were wrong. Not you didn't deserve this. Just, you were supposed to stay quiet." I didn't reply. And for the first time ever, I didn't feel guilty. I moved. New apartment. New city. New number. No more surprise visits. No more emergency texts. No more being the family piggy bank. My boss noticed the change. Offered me a promotion. Funny how well you perform when you're not secretly carrying a household of adults on your back. I sleep better now. Eat better. Breathe better. Because I'm not dragging 4 grown people who never said thank you. Then, one morning, I got a letter. No return address. Inside, a check for $1,200 and a handwritten note. I left him. "You were right. I was scared. But watching you, what you did, it gave me the courage to walk away too. This is for the tablet, the rent, the clothes. Seth never said thank you, but I will. Thank you for being the example I needed. Kelly ****. I read it twice. Then I cried. Not from pain. Not from sadness. But because someone in that family finally saw me, not as a wallet. Not as a scapegoat. But as a person. People ask me sometimes, do you regret it? No. I regret waiting so long. I regret every night I couldn't sleep. Every vacation I canceled. Every time I tightened my own belt, so they could keep living like nothing was wrong. I regret staying quiet, when I should have said, "You're crossing a line." But do I regret standing up? Do I regret finally choosing myself? Never. My therapist once asked me, why did it take so long to say no? And I told her, because I thought saying no meant I didn't love them. She nodded. Then she said, saying no is how you teach people to love you back. I've never forgotten that. A few days ago, I ran into someone from high school. She said, "I saw what happened with your family, that's wild." I braced for judgment. But instead, she smiled and added, "Good for you, most people never get out." I thanked her. Then I walked away, standing just a little taller. Sarah and Seth are still under investigation. Seth lost his job. Sarah's accounts are frozen. Mom's trying to refinance the house. Dad's blaming outside influences. They still don't get it. I didn't tear the family apart. I just stopped pretending it was whole. Sometimes I think back to that night at the table. Sarah laughing while I stared at my drained account. Seth's smug grin. Mom's shrug. You don't need that money. Now they know what that money really was. My time. My health. My boundaries. My life. And they crossed all of it without blinking. Now they get to deal with the cost. I'm not celebrating their downfall. I'm celebrating myself. For surviving it. For walking away. For not going back, even when the silence felt unfamiliar. Even when guilt whispered like it used to. Because that silence? It's freedom. If you're reading this, and you've been the strong one, the reliable one, the ATM with a heartbeat, let me tell you what I wish someone had told me. You don't have to set yourself on fire to keep others warm. You're allowed to stop. You're allowed to leave. You're allowed to say, this is not love. And when you do, You don't lose a family. You find yourself.